Hey guys, it's Miss Shar. We are out and about again, this time as part of our Tales and Tales and Trails program. Today we are visiting the Ohio Bird Sanctuary near Mansfield, Ohio. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. See ya when we see the birds. So we are out and about at the Ohio Bird Sanctuary as part of our Ohio Tales and Trails program. So we are here today. I'm going to have you introduce yourself.
So my name is Emily Smith, and I am the Director of Operations here at the Ohio Bird Sanctuary. And here at the Ohio Bird Sanctuary, we're kind of like a raptor songbird hospital. So we take in injured and ill birds. The main goal is to get them all better and then release them back out in the wild. But then any of the birds that can't be released stay. So right now we're standing in front of some of our birds' enclosures, and we're going to introduce you to some of them.
All right. Thank you. And who are we starting with here?
So this is Kevin, and Kevin is an osprey. And you may have seen an osprey if you live somewhere by a body of water that has a lot of fish. So these are fish-eating birds, and they're going to pretty much eat only fish, and they're excellent fishermen. They actually dive up to 3 feet into the water to grab a fish, come back out wet, and still fly away with them. And they actually have little spikes on the bottom of their feet, which also with their talons, which are like sharp claws, they're going to use to grab onto a slippery, slimy fish and be able to hold on to it. So Kevin here came into the bird sanctuary in the summer of 2016. Kevin had been down on the ground and was not doing well, wasn't eating, wasn't flying, and so some people had found him, brought him into us, and Kevin was actually a bird that had West Nile virus. And West Nile virus gets transmitted by mosquito. So if a bird has the disease, it gets bit by a mosquito, bites another bird. And it typically, if that mosquito bites a healthy bird, has no impact on that bird. But he was a young bird, and he hadn't been eating well. He was starving, so he was pretty weak at that point. And so he has a lot of kind of odd neurological symptoms. He's kind of an awkward, silly guy, which if you've ever seen the movie Up, with the bird named Kevin, that's why Kevin's name is Kevin. We actually named him after that bird. And so Kevin's not going to be able to go back out in the wild. Though he no longer has the virus, we can't reverse any of the damage that it did to him. So he will stay here at the bird sanctuary the rest of his life.
Aw, he's a lucky bird. All right, who is up next?
So here in the middle, we have 2 turkey vultures. So we have Ichabod and Ralph. And not very many people are probably like, ooh, the turkey vulture is my favorite bird. But they are actually very, very important. And birds that here at the bird sanctuary, we try to tell and convince people that they should love vultures and we should be super thankful and grateful for them. So these guys are like nature's garbage men. They're scavengers. They're going to eat that nasty dead stuff, whether it's the roadkill on the side of the road or an animal that died in the middle of the woods. So they're helping keep our earth clean by cleaning up all that yucky stuff that otherwise would just lay there and could potentially be a source of disease to even us as people. So Ichabod is a human imprint, which a human imprint is a bird that actually thinks they're a person. So Ichabod was illegally raised in captivity by someone that should not have had him. And so he's actually too friendly for his own good. And Ichabod, is this one right here up close. And then Ralph, who's sitting a little bit farther back, was hit by a car. And Ralph's wing was badly broken. And so Ralph is not able to fly. And without being able to fly, couldn't go back out into the wild and survive. One really cool thing about turkey vultures is they're the only bird in our area that has a developed sense of smell. So other birds, whether you're talking eagles, owls, falcons, cardinals, blue jays, sparrows, none of them can smell. Only the turkey vulture here in our area is the bird that's able to smell, which when you're a bird that eats stinky dead stuff, super beneficial to be able to find it using a sense of smell.
Absolutely. Oh, that's cool.
And then coming down here, we have a black vulture, which if you've never had a chance to see a turkey vulture next to a black vulture, it's a really good chance to see the difference. He's sitting right up here on this perch. And this is Elliot. Black vultures are actually somewhat new to our area. They're actually more of a southern species, that their range continues to expand northward every year. So maybe even 10 years ago, we wouldn't see black vultures around here, but every year we're seeing more and more and more. And black vultures do not have a sense of smell. like the turkey vultures. So they actually will follow the turkey vultures to find the food and then bully them away from it. But they're still scavengers. They're still going to eat the dead stuff that you find on the side of the road or the dead stuff in the middle of the woods. So just like the turkey vultures, they're equally important in keeping our earth clean. Elliot was also a human imprint. Someone had found him as a baby. These guys will nest on the ground. So sometimes when they're babies and they're covered in their white fuzzy down and they're just sitting there on the ground, people mistake them for orphans when really they're just fine. But someone thought he was this orphan baby black vulture, decided to take him home and keep him, which is illegal. You shouldn't do that. And then once they realized that they shouldn't have done that, they brought him into us. But because he's what we consider a human imprint, he's really too friendly for his own good. If we stuck him back out in the wild, he would continually follow people because that's just what he's used to.
Sure.
So he'll stay here the rest of his life as well.
Aw. So these look like crows.
They sure are. So I know a lot of people coming to the bird sanctuary are like, oh, crow. Like we've all seen crows before. But these are actually the most intelligent birds we have here at the bird sanctuary. So smarter than the owls, smarter than the hawks, smarter than the eagles. They're very,
Wow.
very intelligent. We actually have 4 crows. We have 2 here and then 2 right around the corner. This is Cece and Coley. And Cece and Coley have learned to mimic. They actually used to live next to one of our owls. And so many people walked up to the owl enclosure and said, hi, owl, that they now say, hi, owl. They also will hoo like a great horned owl. Unfortunately, we can't get them to just do it on command. That would be
Sure.
great if we could. But if you're ever here at the bird sanctuary and you hear what sounds like a human voice saying, hi, owl, it's these guys right here. And then in our next 2 enclosures, we actually have my very favorite bird of prey. So this is Pippin. He's a peregrine falcon. And then the next one over, we'll see Blaze, who's also a peregrine falcon. And these guys are actually the fastest animals in the world. Now, typically when I tell that to people, they're like, well, what about the cheetah? I thought the cheetah was the fastest. Well, cheetahs are the fastest animals on land. They can run the fastest at about 70 miles per hour. These guys, though, the peregrine falcons in a dive can reach speeds well over 200 miles per
Wow.
hour, which is crazy fast.
That
Like, can you
is
imagine
crazy
diving
fast.
at 200 miles per hour head first? Well, that's how they catch their food. They enter into these power dives when they're hunting other types of birds. So they are bird-eating birds. They're going to eat smaller types of birds, not other peregrine falcons, of course. And so when they're in this power dive, going speeds over 200 miles per hour, straight towards that bird they want to eat, at the very last second, they're going to flip around, and instead of grabbing in typical raptor fashion, they'll actually ball their talons into fists and strike the bird. So if you can imagine getting punched at 200 miles per hour,
Holy cow.
probably doesn't feel too good.
Wow.
In my opinion, that's the coolest hunting strategy ever, which is why they're one of my favorite birds of prey. Pippin, the guy in the middle, was hit by a car. That's why he's here to wing injury. And Blaze, she actually came from the Rhodes Tower in Columbus. These guys tend to nest in large cities now here in Ohio. When she fled, which means to jump out of the nest for the first time, she crash landed and hurt her shoulder, so that's why she is here as well.
Aw.
There we go, see him real well.
Okay. So this is the Harris's hawk.
This is Phoenix, the Harris's hawk, and this is actually the only bird of prey we have here in Ohio, or at the bird sanctuary, that you wouldn't natively find living here in Ohio. So you're not going to go out in your backyard and find a Harris hawk sitting there. They're actually more of a desert species. So to find them here in the United States, you would need to go to like Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California area. So how did he end up here at
That
the
was
Ohio
gonna be
Bird
my
Sanctuary?
question, yes.
These guys are really popular in the sport of falconry, which is
Okay.
hunting with a bird. You have to have a really special license to be a falconer, so you can't just decide you're going to get a bird one day, go out and catch it, and be a falconer. You have to go through a whole process of training and getting a special license. And they're really popular for the sport because they're very social. In the wild, they actually operate a lot like a wolf pack would. So there's going to be 7 or 8 of them that'll live together, nest together, raise their young together, hunt
Really?
together. And so they're really social.
Wow.
So putting them in the context of a falconer and a hawk that works together to hunt, it works really well, and they do really well in that sport. So he was bred for the sport of falconry, but he's a really mellow-tempered bird. The falconer, I think, was hoping to get a really big, strong, maybe aggressive female, and he's just a really calm guy. So he was given to us to use as a program bird, which he has done a great job. He's actually semi-retired now. He's 26 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And so we don't really use him for programming much anymore. He pretty much just hangs out as a display bird, but he's been a really key part of the bird sanctuaries we've grown and done a lot of programming.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the great horned owl.
Yes. So
Seymour.
yeah, which if you see her big eyes, she has such big eyes she can see more in the dark than we can. Hence why her name is Seymour. So Seymour is a great horned owl. And you can see why they're called the great horned owls by those feather tufts right on the top of her head. Now those feather tufts are actually for the purpose of camouflage. They're not ears. They have nothing to do with her ability to hear, but actually help disguise her head to look more like the jagged edge of bark. Now this is a top predator. Like you're thinking on the food chain, you got the big guys up here and the little guys down there. They're up here. They don't have any predators as adults.
Wow.
So they use their camouflage not to hide from being eaten, but to hide from the stuff they want to eat. So they'll sit in a tree, use their camouflage, and sit really still and wait for other stuff to come along. Now they're not picky eaters. They'll eat mammals, reptiles, amphibians, other birds. Their favorite food, though, believe it or not, is skunk. Great horned owls love to eat skunk, which if you remember when we were talking about the vulture, they're the only bird in our area with a developed sense of smell, so they have no idea that their favorite food is a really, really stinky prey. So they're actually the perfect predator for a skunk, but anytime a great horned owl comes into the bird sanctuary, they absolutely reek of skunk. Now Seymour came into the bird sanctuary when she was a nestling. She'd fallen out of the nest and broke her wing. And she was actually pretty lucky because great horned owls are one of the first birds to start nesting here in Ohio. So they're on nest in January. It's cold in January.
Wow.
So when she fell out of the nest, she was pretty lucky because her mom and dad were coming down and sitting on her on the ground and keeping her warm. Well, someone had realized she was there, brought her in. She ended up having to have a partial wing amputation because her wing was so badly broken. And so that's why her enclosure is set up the way it is with little handicap ramps so she can get up and down. But obviously would not be able to go back out in the wild without having a full wing.
So this is Benjamin the bunny, and just outside the door here at the bird sanctuary is a box turtle. So I'm wondering, do they ever try to race like the story, you know, the tortoise and the hare? I think that might be something we have to find out. Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful bird. I wish you could be here in person because she's gorgeous. This is Miss Winnie?
This is Winnie. So Winnie is an eastern screech owl, and though she is small, she's a full-grown adult. In fact, she's actually a big eastern screech owl. So in the bird of prey world, the females are larger than the males. So because she is a female, she's actually a big eastern screech owl. They are the second smallest owl we have here in Ohio. So there is one smaller called a saw-whet owl. So you think she's small. There's actually an owl even smaller than she is. Now, screech owls are pretty common around here, but because they're so small, they're camouflaged, they're nocturnal, so they're up and active at night. We don't typically see them. You're more likely to hear them, though, before you would see them. So not all owls hoo, which I think, you know, when you're younger and you're reading all the kids' books, your hoo is what the owl sound makes. But these guys actually make whinnies and trills, which is why her name is Winnie. The whinny sounds just like a horse whinny. The trill sounds like if you roll your tongue, kind of like a kind of noise. So if you're ever out in the evening or the early morning and you hear that noise, that could be this one. I think they're kind of misnamed because everyone assumes they screech, but it's actually a lot of whinnies and trills.
Her beak even is kind of camouflaged.
It is. It's hard to see kind of if you follow that middle line right down her face. And though her beak looks really small, like she's still a raptor, still a predator, so she would hunt for mice and use that beak to rip and tear apart. And I believe we're going to be doing owl and owl pellets when we come. So we'll talk more about how owls swallow their mice and prey whole. And then you develop that
Will Winnie
owl
be
pellet.
the one who's visiting
She might.
us? Oh,
she might.
That's awesome.
So we might have Winnie coming.
Oh, she's beautiful. The markings on her are just gorgeous.
Yes.
She is beautiful. Aw. And I love the way she turns her head
really quick. Yeah, I don't want to give away all the fun facts about owls. We'll save some for the owl and owl pellet activity.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for showing us Miss Winnie.
Of course.
So we have come in from the rain, as you can see, Miss Char's soaked. But this is such a fun place to visit, and if you do visit, make sure you stop into their gift shop. There's all kinds of neat things here. These little birds are awesome. Each one makes a different sound. That is so cool. Miss Shar wants one of those. But there's just all kinds of things here for you to see. And some really fun things that I think you would enjoy taking home with you. I see that there are little stones and little charms and things. Books, of course, you know, those are Miss Shar's favorite things. So definitely come in. Make sure when you come to the Ohio Bird Sanctuary to step into the building and take a look at this really very nice gift shop.
All right, so here, I'm gonna
Okay,
give
so
you this.
where are we now,
So
Emily?
we are inside our songbird aviary. So all of the songbirds that couldn't be released live inside here. So when you come and visit the bird sanctuary, you can walk inside this aviary. You can purchase a cup of food for $0.25 and come in and feed. And I think we have a blue jay over here that might be
Yes.
interested.
Come on.
In some of your food. We'll see. There's another one coming up to your right there.
Okay,
hopping down
all right.
the railing.
I'll
We'll see
just-
if anyone's interested.
Come on,
in a
come and
snack.
eat. Would you like to have a snack? Sure you would. Those are mealworms in there.
So there's some mealworms, there's some seeds, there's a suet ball,
Yeah.
all sorts of yummy snacks.
Pretty cool.
I'm gonna hop away with it.
And I wish you could see because Miss Mitzi has a pigeon on top of the umbrella.
Right now. We'll just flip this around really quick. This is Toby the pigeon that has decided to help us film today.
That's pretty cool. So how many different birds are in here, Emily?
We probably have about 30 birds total in here. We've got blue jays, cardinals, mourning doves, there's some finches, of course Toby the pigeon. I think we've got a robin in here. There's a rusty blackbird. So we're a pretty diverse
Okay.
group of birds living inside of here. And again, they're all here for some reason or another. And this is just a great place for them to be able to hang out, and then it makes it great for visitors to be able to come
Sure.
in and see them
I
up
see
close
a
as
mourning
well.
dove here.
See if the mourning dove's interested in
Yeah.
eating.
Would you like some food? Yay! All right. Those beautiful markings. Beautiful purple. Yeah, you're gorgeous. That's pretty good, huh? Yeah. Yeah, Miss Emily makes good breakfast, doesn't she? Yeah. Uh-oh, you're spilling them all out. Yeah. Oh, now our buddy here, he has to have some because he's been waiting patiently. Yeah. You putting that down there for later? Huh? Yeah. All right. All right, Mitz, if you would just go ahead and kind of show what's down through here. I bet there's lots of little birds that are hiding in the weeds
For
and,
sure.
and the bushes and
Toby
things.
Stay out of the rain.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see if anybody else wants something to eat. No, you've had enough? Huh? You don't see what you like?
Need more.
Huh?
Trade out. That one's
Okay.
got more seed in it.
Okay,
There you go.
come here. You can have some more. There
A
you
few
go.
worms in there. I don't know if Toby's really interested in the worms, but she likes the seed.
Yeah. Whoa. I'd just been dive bombed by a pigeon.
Oh, Toby. Toby's been known to follow visitors around.
Ah.
There's a catbird right there.
Yeah. And why is it called a catbird?
They actually make a cat-like sound.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of sounds like
Kinda
it's
sounds like a
saying.
meow.
Yes, it does.
And right in here, sitting very quietly and cutely, is
I
a little
see.
cedar waxwing.
Okay. Beautiful.
Oh, there's another one, yeah, right there.
Very
They're berry
beautiful.
eaters.
Very beautiful bird. You're coming back for some more, aren't you? Yes. Oh my.
There's the rusty blackbird, kind of sitting there with a white eye. We just walked back. Let's see if he walks forward again.
So there are a lot of birds here to come just sit and enjoy a few minutes in the aviary and just look and see what you can see. most of these birds are from Ohio, I'm assuming.
So all of these
Yeah.
ones in here are going to be birds you would find here in
in
Ohio.
your backyard.
In your backyard,
yeah.
for sure.
So that's awesome. And you could, if you're doing our weeks at the library, our summer reading weeks, one of our weeks is all about birds in our backyard. So
Yeah.
you can come and get our own little scavenger hunt. So, and you'll be ahead because you'll know what some of these birds look like. So we hope that you will do that. So, all right. So we are at the bald eagle enclosure.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, is he neat looking?
Yes, so sitting up high here, this is Tahoe. We have two others in there, which are probably down low, and because of the way the ferns are, your camera might not be able to get a good view of them. But Tahoe is a 5th year bald eagle, which means he is just now becoming an adult. So bald eagles don't actually get the iconic white head, yellow beak, light colored eyes, white tail until their 5th year. And that's right where he is right now. So his head is mostly white, although you can see still a little dark.
Brown.
His
Yeah.
beak is not quite a pure yellow yet, and his eyes are still dark. So in this next year, he'll kind of really take on that adult look, whereas the other two, which are hard to see, they already do look like that. They're full adults.
Their eyes get yellow,
They
kind of
turn
golden.
light, which I don't know if you can
Yeah.
see in the picture right here. They kind
Okay.
of get that yellow
Yeah.
light color, and so his eyes are still dark, and then they will lighten here soon. So Tahoe was a West Nile virus case similar to Kevin the Osprey, and so he's actually blind in his left eye because of it, and that's why he lives here. Gus and Ted, the two other adults in there, were both hit by cars. Though we like to think eagles are these big, strong, ferocious predators, they actually do a lot of scavenging, which means they'll be down on the side of the road eating dead stuff, which unfortunately, when you're a bird that's that big and a car comes really fast, you just can't get out of the way in
Yeah.
time. And so they were both hit by cars and had wing injuries that prevents them from being able to fly.
Thank goodness they were brought here, though.
Yeah, of course,
So,
of course. And
yeah.
actually, one of the really cool things about Gus is he's the oldest bird here at the bird sanctuary. He's 33 years old this year, and we know that because he was banded as a chick. So 33 years ago, when he was banded as a chick, eagles weren't very common here in the state of
Yeah.
Ohio. They're still kind of rare, so they were banding every chick that was hatched. But in his lifetime, which is really cool, we've gone from so few to now there's so many, it's hard to keep track. You're not even banding them all anymore. They did a nesting eagle survey a year ago now, and there are 14 active nests here in Richland County, 707 in the state of Ohio.
Wow.
So there are a ton of bald eagle nests now, which is just amazing. In that 33, in Gus's
Yes.
lifespan, we went from so few to so many.
Wow. What is typical for an eagle to live?
To live, so in the wild, having one that's getting close to 30 is not super uncommon for them to live 20s and up to 30s. Now in captivity, they can live much longer. So if he could live into his 40s, up to close to 50 would be cool.
What kind of predator do they have to be concerned about?
They don't really have a predator. As an adult, they don't
wonder.
really have a
Yeah.
predator to be concerned about other than maybe getting hit by a car. But as an adult, they don't really have predators. You know, of course, if young, they're a little more vulnerable. But yeah, they don't really have
What do you
predators.
attribute their growth in numbers to?
So the downfall of their numbers were due to a pesticide. So if you're going back to like DDT, that affected the eagles, the peregrines, the osprey. So eliminating that was a big thing. So we can help the numbers grow. And then also just a lot of awareness and a lot of, people just realizing how important they are and paying attention to, where are they going to live and what are they going to eat? They're fish eaters. So making sure that, we're not using lead products when we're fishing that could poison fish and poison eagles. So there's just a lot of awareness and conservation, people learning more about eagles, and that's done a lot to help them grow in their numbers.
That's great. Okay. We have one more owl, I think, to
Let's
visit.
go see the
Yeah.
barred owls. They're
Yes.
definitely ones that people come just to see them because they're usually very vocal, so let's check them out.
Of course, here's the red-tailed hawk we're walking by.
Yeah, we can scan
He's
through
pretty
the vine.
cool. And the rough-legged hawk, he's sitting back there in the dark.
She's kind of dark. She's hard to see. Inside here, there's a short-eared owl in the back right corner.
Oh,
She doesn't
yeah.
have a sign. She's actually one that we just moved in here. Doesn't have a name either, so that's kind
Oh.
of just a
Are you going to
brand
have a
new.
contest?
I don't know. We'll have to decide if we want to do a contest or if we just have a good name. There's a little Cooper's hawk here sitting out in the rain. They're bird-eating birds. Very cool, though. A little broad-winged hawk. And there's the barred owl already hooting.
Oh, my goodness.
So so I don't know if you can hear him. But that's Apollo. And a barred owl call, when you hear the whole thing, sounds a little bit like, who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? So he's giving you a little taste of that.
There are so many birds that you can attribute words to.
Yes.
Yes.
Help you remember their calls,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes. And I know that has a name. It's like mnemonic or something like that. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Apollo is the guy in the back that was doing all the hooting. We also have Barkley, our other barred owl. And these guys are really common around here. They love damp forests, so any forest that's got a stream running through it or a river nearby, because they'll eat a lot of the amphibians that would go along with that stream. So we actually get a lot of wild barred owls that come sit in the trees right around here, and they start hooting, which these guys start hooting, and we get a whole chorus of barred owls hooting back and forth.
Oh, that's pretty neat. They're beautiful.
So this is Barkley, the barred owl. And then over here we have Apollo. Hi, Apollo. It's gonna hoot for you a little bit. We're kind of going behind the scenes here to get to see them up close without the wire in front of them.
So we are back inside, out of the rain, finally, with Emily. And she's going to tell us about some of the things that might be happening here. If you have a group that might want to come to the Ohio Bird Sanctuary, or if you're just coming to visit with your family, she's going to tell you some of the neat things that are here at the Ohio Bird Sanctuary.
Sure. So if you want to just come on your own, you're welcome to do that. So we're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4 and Sunday noon to 4, closed on Mondays. And you can come and just kind of self-guide, walk past all the enclosures, read all the signs, see all the birds, hike on the trails. We actually sit on 90 acres of land. So there's a lot of trails back there. We have a kids' play area to check out. So that's all something you can do without making a reservation or anything. You can just come and check it out.
That's awesome.
If you would like something where you have a staff member with you doing a guided tour or maybe a field trip, something like that, that is something you have to schedule ahead of time. And all you'd have to do is just give us a call. You can ask for me, ask for Emily, ask for Abby, and we'd be happy to try to schedule something for you, whether it is a field trip or a tour or a program of some sort. If you have kids that are 6 to 12 years old, we have camps going on this summer. We have 6 camps they could sign up for that are different themes, nature detectives, all about birds, something like that. And we do have some spots available in those. So if you're interested in signing up for camp, you can get on our website, check out the camp information, the dates and all that good stuff. You call the Bird Sanctuary, we can give you that information. But if you do want to sign up soon, because they will fill up before we get to the summertime. But definitely check out the camps.
I'm motioning for Miss Mitzi to come forward because I want her to see. There's the chicken is over here visiting with Benjamin.
So this is Lucy. Lucy is our chicken. She's an old chicken too. So between Lucy and Ben, they're kind of our 2 retired program animals. And I think I was telling you earlier, we have these program animals for people to be able to touch. Everybody likes to touch things. You can't pet an eagle or pet an owl. So we have a chicken you can pet, and then of course a bunny, so you can talk about mammals versus birds. And they actually do a lot of visits in preschools, multi-handicap classes, assisted living facilities, and they have definitely been a huge part of the programming here at the Bird Sanctuary.
She's going to come visit us now.
She's going to come get into the camera view.
So definitely bring your family here. If it wasn't raining, I would love to have taken a walk today. It's a absolutely beautiful setting here. And don't forget, Miss Emily is probably going to be the one bringing Winnie, maybe. We'll cross our fingers and see when we do our owl pellet dissection. I think that's in July. Is it in June or July?
Maybe end of June,
29th, I think so. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. So definitely make sure you sign up for that because it's going to be lots of fun. Thank you for watching today. We hope that you and your family will come and visit because this is a truly awesome place to visit. Thank you
Yes,
for
thank you
being
for-
part of our Ohio Tales and Trails program. See you next time. Hey guys, it's Miss Shar, and I am back from being out and about on our Tales and Trails program. And we were visiting the Ohio Bird Sanctuary today in the rain, of course. That's why Miss Shar's hair looks like it's been through a windstorm. It kind of has. So I just wanted to share with you a pamphlet that you will get in your packet for the week that we're doing our bird stuff. But I wanted to share with you, if you wanted to go on and look for some more about the Ohio Bird Sanctuary, it's www.ohiobirdsanctuary.com. So, in other words, ohiobirdsanctuary.com. And they do have a phone number, 419-884-4295, if you are interested in looking them up or have some questions before you might get this pamphlet. So I hope you enjoy our visit. Do note, going on here, our visit today was in the rain and we didn't get a very good video for you. I apologize for that, but it's how the weather was today, and today was the day that we had to go. So if you don't see something that if you have visited there and you see some of the birds we didn't show today, there are other birds in different enclosures and things there. So go on their website. They have wonderful videos for you to see. And I know you won't be disappointed if you go take a look at them. So thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate it.